Hey, sports fans, Larry Eater, RunBlogRun. This is the epilogue, or Larry's monologue. This is for Athletics Chat number 32. 32. And Stuart was in lovely Oxford, England. He had his Father Christmas jacket on. And I must say, just a digression, if you need something to watch over the holidays, find the 1952 version of A Christmas Carol featuring Alistair Sims. Alistair is a fine British actor. The colorized version's okay. You need to watch it in black and white. You need to have an eggnog. And if you are into adult beverages, a little libation in there would be really good. And you need to watch it. That and It's a Wonderful Life, of course. I think Love Actually is good too. And Bad Santa. Yeah, well, if you're an adult, Bad Santa. Billy Bob Thornton is just one of those guilty pleasures. And again, a libation, okay? Probably something in a paper bag. But anyway, I've digressed. So today it's Athletics Chat 32 epilogue. So what do we talk about? Well, the announcement for the government in funding for UK sport. So the British government does something way different from the US. They fund sports over there to the tune of about, over 460 million US dollars and 29 million pounds sterling, which is about 42, goes to British athletics every 4 years. And that's averages out to about 40,000 tax-free for their 400 plus athletes. Plus they get medical and some other things. I think it's a great system. In the US right now, I'm confused because I love USA Track and Field and the good people there, but they really just don't promote themselves. And so we don't know what they're doing for the athletes now, especially in this time of pandemic. And that, quite frankly, the most important events put on here were done by entrepreneurs. Now, the USATF Foundation was involved, but that's very different from USA Track and Field. And the USATF Foundation was involved not only in the marathon project, but they were also involved in Jesse Williams' track meet, which two of the just brilliant events, and that showed that, yes, you can do events even in a pandemic. I unfortunately was unable to go to either one in person. I am breaking out in hives because it's been almost 8 months since I've been to a real live event, and I'm getting a little frustrated, but I digress. So British funding of UK sport, fantastic. We'd love to see the US do that, but I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure the USOC wants to give up the control. The USOC makes a lot of money, but like the NCAA, does it really trickle down to the athletes? I'm not sure sometimes. Okay. Second thing, this last weekend was the Marathon Project. It was an event put on by Ben Rosario and manager Josh Cox, featured 40 men and 4 pacers and 48 women and 8 pacers. And brilliant performances. Martin Hay here won the men's race in 2:08:59. On the women's side, Sarah Hall ran 2:20:32. Brilliant events, brilliant races, great performances. I believe there was 9 athletes under 2 hours, 10 minutes on the men's side. And on the women's side, oh my gosh, the number of athletes under 2 hours 30 was just fantastic. But again, it was 2.1 miles, and then you ran about a 4.6 mile loop. I think it was 6 times. Pacing was good. Water stations were good. A couple of people out on the course sent me notes and said how cool the race was. And again, this allows these athletes to get paydays. An athlete going under 210, and most of the brands makes 25 to 30 grand. So pretty darn good. And that pays a few bills and takes care of Christmas. So congrats, Marathon Project. Our third thing, the indoor 2,000 meter steeplechase will be held on February 7th in, I believe, Germany. Is it Dortmund? It's not, it could be Dortmund. But Geza Felicitas Kraus, the 2018 European champion in the steeple and the 2019 bronze medalist in the world champs, will be competing. There's no water jump, but there are hurdles. It's exciting. People can fall. It's roller derby with hurdles. Okay. Exciting, exciting, exciting. Be there, be there, be there. Mark Schnell. 3, Russian ban cut. So CAS cut back the Russian ban from 4 years to 2, which means that they'll be able to compete probably in Paris. No flags for World Cup, no flag for Tokyo Olympics. And the IOC is under a lot of pressure. They've got to try to get Russia back in. And CAS, I'm not sure what the hell CAS is doing. If I was anti-doping WADA, I would appeal this. I think this is crap. Here's the deal. Doping came out of Second World War. The Waffen-SS used it for their athletes. The U.S. used it for paraplegics and quadriplegics, and that's why so many of them survived. By 1948, bodybuilders in California were using it. And by the early 1950s, Soviet athletes were using it. And so were athletes in the West. So don't just, bum on the Soviet bloc. The Federation had no clue. It was all hush-hush in the 50s and 60s as well. And the Federation looked the other way. It wasn't until the late 70s that they got an inadequate system set up. In the 80s, it was the dirtiest decade in sports. 1988 Olympics was probably the dirtiest Olympics we've ever had. And athletes got off, samples weren't tested, athletes could pay for samples being tested. Every bit of deviancy and bacchanalian thing that you could think of happened. In the 90s, the Federation started developing some balls. And they by now, we're at a place with WADA and USADA, where I think they do a pretty good job. I think USADA does a better job than WADA. WADA is much more political. WADA is much more theatrical. And WADA, by being that, isn't doing their job. They're down. Their testing is down about 70% right now. So cheaters are out there and cheaters are using it. And that's why I question every performance under God right now. And even when I know the athletes, I have to, because a critical eye is really, really important right now. So the Russian ban needs to stand up. The Russians, I applaud World Athletics and Sebco in keeping it tough on the Russians, because they need to, one, admit the misgivings, the misdeeds, find a way to stay around it and learn from it. And they need to be the poster child of, you do this, we're kicking your ass out of the sport. We've weaponized athletics with doping, and we need to change that. And it's got to be looking like a new weapon system. And if you don't get the business out of it, if you don't start charging the athletes $50,000 for every doping violation, and agents and managers, it's not going to stop. And I hate to take money out of people's pockets because I know how hard it is. But until you start charging $50,000 to $100,000 every time you get a 2-year ban or a 4-year ban, it's not going to go away. So COVID's getting worse in the UK. It's getting worse in the US. I'm in California now, heading back to Wisconsin, and I'll be self-quarantining for 2 weeks in Wisconsin. I'll have food shipped in, and I'll do my walks at night. You got to stay safe. You got to stay careful. Please stay safe, stay careful. Enjoy the holidays. Tell your friends that you love them. Do Zoom phone calls. That's what I'm doing with my family. But stay away from other people. If you're a Hindu, Muslim, Jew, Christian, humanist, they all say, take care of others, love one another. If you love one another, you'll do everything to take care of yourself, wear a mask. If you get the opportunity to get a vaccine, take the vaccine. We're not putting chips in you. It's just Bill Gates putting chips in you. I'm joking. But just know that your mind is to be used. It's a muscle. Critical thinking. If something is bullshit, it's bullshit. That's just the way it is. And there's a lot out there right now. And yes, you can use your brain to do it. Pretty much anything on Facebook should be suspect, or on social media anyway. Okay. But I am a Martian, just so you guys know. Anyway, this is the end of the epilogue for Athletics Chat 32. This is Larry Eder with RunBlogRun. Thank you to Stuart Weir. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Just enjoy the winter solstice. If you like RunBlogRun, like us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We need it, because the more eyeballs, we get paid a little bit better. And then if you really love us, subscribe on the YouTube. We've got close to 1,000 videos. Poor Mike Deering, I let out a couple times a day to walk his gerbils, and he is doing videos, producing videos the rest of the time, and watching, the Eastern Front shows on Prime. Anyway, Larry Eater saying goodbye, saying Merry Holidays, and stay safe. Okay?